Let's talk about Reed Sheppard. After Sheppard crushed it at Kentucky, the Rockets took him with the third overall pick in this year's draft. And as a rookie in Summer League, Sheppard shined, earning first team All-Summer League. And so I wanted to break down his Summer League performance, not just because he's good, but because he's a total outlier on both ends of the court. So, let's get to it. Let's start on offense, where he averaged 20 points in 4 games. Sheppard impressed at point guard with his ability to create offense. He was generally able to get where he wanted to, which is a good sign. He has a tight handle and is quick enough to get by defenders. Here, he uses a crossover to blow by Bronny and create an open three. Sheppard excelled in the pick and roll, usually making the right read. Here, for instance, he has a pick to his right, but what should Sheppard be thinking here? Can I reject the pick and attack open space? That's the first option for guards in ball screens, and here, there's a huge gap for Sheppard to attack if he rejects the pick, so he nicely does to break down the defense. When Sheppard used the pick, he was able to score at all 3 levels, which is huge. We know he can shoot, but at only 6'2", there are questions about his ability to drive and finish in the NBA. But in Summer League, he was able to do so a fair amount. Part of the reason he was able to drive and finish in the pick and roll was due to his change of pace. So here, the big is in a drop, in a defensive stance, and in position to protect the rim. But notice how Sheppard uses a hesitation dribble right there, making it look like he might not attack. That gets the big to stand up and relax, and now Sheppard can attack with the big out of position. As we watch the play full speed, you can really see Sheppard's quickness on display. And in the pick and roll, Sheppard also attacked the drop with mid-range jumpers. He was an elite shooter at Kentucky, and in Summer League, he was money in the mid-range. He has super soft touch, and he didn't seem to be bothered by contests, often making difficult shots. Also, in Summer League, he shot 58% on twos on a high volume of attempts, which is stellar for a point guard. This is a great sign. Due to his paint finishing and mid-range game, he was very efficient inside the arc. In the pick and roll, pull-up threes weren't a huge part of his game in Summer League, but he did show flashes, and here he sticks one. Over the next few years, this is definitely an area he can improve in. Right now, he's more comfortable with pull-up twos than threes. That's fine, but threes are generally more efficient than long twos. Here, for example, off the pick, his defender gets stuck on the screen, and the big is backpedaling. This should be a pull-up 3, but instead Sheppard takes the contested 2. We'll talk more about his 3-point shooting in a moment, but first it should be noted that his pick and roll passing was pretty good. He has good court vision. Here, for example, off the pick, he first recognizes the screener is able to get behind the defensive big. Then, Sheppard sees that the weak side defender doesn't tag the roller, and so Sheppard finds the roller. Sheppard also did a solid job of finding shooters when the defense helped in the paint and tagged the roller, and here he finds a teammate for a 3. However, he wasn't perfect, and this is a play he can learn from. Off the pick here, he decides to snake the pick and roll, which nicely gets him separation from his defender. Because of the snake, Sheppard forces a late switch, with the big switching on to Sheppard, and the guard switching on to the screener, center Orlando Robinson. To exploit the switch, the play here is to use a bounce pass to find Robinson on the seal, but here, Sheppard instead forces a tough shot. That's a play Sheppard will make once he gets more experience. Here, for instance, Chris Paul makes the pass Sheppard missed. So like Sheppard, first Paul snakes the pick and roll, and this forces a late switch, so now the big is on Paul, and with a guard on Aiden, Paul finds Aiden on the seal. So Sheppard impressed as an on-ball creator, and he also projects to have value as an off-ball player due to his shooting ability. He shot a ridiculous 52% on threes at Kentucky. He has deep range and a quick release. I mean, look at how fast he gets this one off. Now in Summer League, he only shot 28% from 3, but this isn't concerning. 3-point shooting is notoriously high variance, and this was a small sample size. Overall, Sheppard had a 56% true shooting percentage, which is very solid for Summer League, and it's encouraging that he was able to be efficient even though he struggled from 3. One negative is that Sheppard had too many turnovers in Summer League, as he averaged nearly 5 per game. On film, he definitely forced a few too many passes, and he also struggled versus ball pressure some and got his pocket picked a few times. That being said, turnovers are to be expected for a 20-year-old rookie point guard, and I'm not concerned because his passing tape was mostly good. He found open teammates and looked like a true point guard. Moving on to defense, and Sheppard really shined as a defensive playmaker, where he averaged 2.8 steals and 1.3 blocks per game. Off the ball, he regularly jumps passing lanes, and here he gets the pick 6. Sheppard has outlier level instincts, and this next play was just absurd. So here the Rockets are in a zone, and on the ball reversal, Sheppard sinks to take away the middle. Now, watch Sheppard closely. He'll sink, but then notice how he bends his knees. He's looking to pounce on a pass back to Dillingham before the passer is even looking that way. Sheppard gets the steal, and jumping passes like this is not normal at this level. He's a defensive playmaker off the ball, but also on the ball as well due to his elite hands. He has an uncanny knack for strips. Here, for example, Tommy Kuhse blows by Sheppard, but as Kuhse strides for a layup, what is he going to do? Well, on the first step, Kuhse raises the ball, but typically on the final stride, most players will bring the ball down to their stomach or inside hip. Sheppard instinctively knows this, so as the ball comes down, Sheppard strips Kuhse from behind. Also, Sheppard averaged over a block a game in Summer League because strips like this count as blocks. The ball handler was in a shooting motion. Sheppard also had a couple strips in transition that left me speechless. Here was my favorite. So the Wolves run in transition and have a great chance to score, but Sheppard is back, and watch how he gets the strip and the save. He has just incredible timing. I tracked Sheppard's deflections in Summer League, and he averaged an insane 5.5 per game. For context, Alex Caruso led the NBA last season with 3.7 deflections per game. Occasionally, Sheppard will gamble for a steal and not get it, but that trade-off is worth it because he so often does get the strip, steal, or deflection. So Sheppard was extremely disruptive on D, and his off-ball defense was a positive overall. However, his on-ball defense, while disruptive at times, was a bit more of a mixed bag on the whole. It's not one thing in particular, but his tape is just okay. Here, for instance, Sheppard is guarding the ball, and the Pistons use a slip screen, meaning the screener is not setting a real screen, and there seems to be some miscommunication between Sheppard and his teammate. Still, Sheppard isn't pressuring the ball, and you'd like to see him slide to cut this drive off. He allows too many blow-bys, and here's an example where Sheppard goes for a steal and it backfires as he allows the blow-by. He lacks consistency and discipline defending on ball, and he's also a bit undersized. For example, here on the drive, Sheppard does his best to move his feet, but the bigger player finishes right over him. That being said, he has decent foot speed, so when he's dialed in, he can keep the ball in front. Here, the Wizards try a similar slip screen to what we saw earlier, and notice the night and day difference from Sheppard. He's into Carrington, pressuring the ball, and he moves his feet to prevent the drive. This was a high-level closeout. On the closeout, watch how he's able to quickly change directions to slide and cut the drive off. And his active hands definitely prop up his on-ball defense. Here, for example, after a switch, Sheppard is at a big size disadvantage, but he gets the strip and forces a turnover. Overall, I'd say Sheppard was a clear plus on defense in Summer League. To recap, on the plus side, Sheppard impressed with his shot creation ability, particularly in the pick and roll. In terms of his shooting, even though he didn't shoot it great from 3 in Summer League, he shot it well from mid-range, and going forward, his shooting is a clear strength. His defensive playmaking was excellent, and his overall feel for the game stood out as well. A few areas of improvement would be for Sheppard to keep down his turnovers and to be more consistent as an on-ball defender. Well, there you have it, guys. Sheppard's a good athlete, and his combination of elite skill and elite feel for the game makes him special. He has all-star upside as an impactful two-way player. Thanks for watching.